Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at BTC. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Before we jump into the micro counting to the upside here, we're going to discuss a couple of the higher time frame ideas. So we're still looking for that potential that within some of our bearish counts, we could either be looking for this B wave completed into this high, and we're seeing this as continuation to the downside. Looking for a C wave 1-to-1 is going to be down here towards this 22,264. Alternatively here, what we could still have is that this move could potentially be within this B wave, in which case we could still be looking to see a move up between this 50% typically to the 786 region before looking for that continuation to the downside. Now it is also possible within our higher idea that this is a flat correction, that we could be looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're still looking for an additional leg to the downside here in a fifth wave. It is also possible that we could have this as our wave 1, 2, and we're looking for a diagonal pattern, looking to form a contracting wedge shape pattern to the downside. So those are the main ideas that we're looking for. So the key thing here is going to be this high, which is sitting here at this 28,142 level. Until we actually break this high, we need to be careful of these more bearish counts because we're sitting right within the rejection area. Now, within this idea of seeing continuation down, we've been talking about a few different things. So we were saying that there could be just a three-wave move for as long as this high actually holds here, where we could be looking for a move back down here towards this 24,718, which would be based off of this current high that we have here. We've come back up here as a retracement into this zone of the 618 to the 786, and if we do see continuation start to play out here where we get a 5-wave move to the downside, I will be looking out primarily at this 1-to-1 level to see how we react there. Now, within this idea, this would be saying that we're still within that bigger B wave, and what we're saying is that this is our A wave. We have this as A, B, and C, and then we're going to be looking for that potential of a bigger 5-wave structure. Now, we also did talk about the possibility that this B wave could complete here, in which case we are looking for this potentially to develop as a C wave. Now, some targets for this would be this 1-to-1 level at this 27,863. We also do have this higher level here of this 1618 to this 1236, which would align with this becoming a bigger flat correction. So if we do continue to hold these lows and continue to rally in a 5-wave move, which we're going to go over in a second, we could potentially see this C wave continue to play out here, where we look for a bigger move up into these areas. So it's going to be important whether we manage to hold these lows here. Now, within our bigger drop potential here, like we were saying previously, until we actually take this high, we need to be careful of the idea that this could be wave 1, this could be A, B, C for W, X, this is a Y wave, and then we still look for that continuation to the downside. Now, like I said previously, I will be watching out on this 1-to-1 level because this could align with the diagonal count as well as the idea of this being a B wave. If, however, we start to see a bigger breakdown where we manage to get a push down towards this 23,168, this would align rather with the idea that this move is becoming 1, 2, 3, we'd look for a fourth, and then we get this fifth wave down, which could look to push us down towards this 28,813 to this 22,254 region. So this is why until we actually take this high, we need to still be very careful because we're sitting right within this rejection area here. And, we need to see whether we continue to hold these more local lows here or whether we start to get a bit more of a breakdown. If we do get a breakdown, we're going to go over a scenario where we could still look for a push up in a corrective way. And what that would then align with is that rather what we're looking for here is that this move is actually completed into this low over here. And we're saying that the C wave is actually completed into this point here. And what this would then mean is that effectively we are looking for the potential here that this move in itself could be looking to push back to the upside in a bigger corrective move before looking for continuation down. So I'm still open to this interpretation, and the areas of interest, if we did see something like that, would be higher up here, where we would be looking for two zones, in my opinion. Now, this would be this orange zone over here, the 786 to this 50%. And what I'd want to see here, though, is that if this is an A wave here, we would be expecting to see something a bit more drawn out here as a B wave, where what we'd be looking for is potentially something like this move to complete, 3 waves back down, and a bigger push back to the upside here before looking for that continuation down. The alternative would be that if we do look to have an overshooting B wave here, we could still see a move higher up here towards this 33,548 to this 31k region. So still open to the interpretation here that we could still see a bigger, more corrective move here, where what this would then just do is have price action move sideways within this range, looking to move back above these highs and sweep any liquidity that's here before a more violent sell-off to the downside, and then potentially that continuation on from that point. So we need to just be respectful that there is still these other options here. Now we're going to dive into this lower degree counting. Like I said, until we take this high, we need to be very careful because we are looking for the potential here that we could see a turnaround and have this move starting to break down from this point in either the move as an A, B, and a C, in which case we got our targets, or that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now within this move to the upside, we're also talking about the potential of a breakout. Now this is still viable at the moment because we are continuing to hold these previous lows. Now, the way we were discussing this is saying that this could be 1, 2, another 1, 2, another 1, 2 here. And we were looking for this wave 3, which we were looking for this target of this 27,468. But the problem is the way we've come up here is not very neat. And what I'm looking for rather now is that potentially we could be setting up either this move as a diagonal pattern, or alternatively what we could then be getting is that this move could actually have another 1, 2 in here, and that would be valid for as long as we hold this 2663. The problem is once we start to get this many 1s and 2s in a row here, it starts to become less likely, but it is still viable for as long as we continue to hold this previous low and set a higher low. So within this idea of seeing, you know, a bigger break to the upside here, what I would be looking for more locally is that internally here, we'd be looking for this as another 1, 2, and we'd be looking for this 1618 level. Now, I was looking at this potentially as a fourth wave, but we've actually come down quite deep here. We haven't invalidated this idea yet by crossing this 26,860, but the probability that we're going to do this is becoming quite high because we've come down way past this typical fourth wave area. And what I'm looking for here is, once again, if we hold this low, we could still be building where this becomes 1, 2, another 1, 2, and then we're going to start to see some price action breaking to the upside. But if we do cross this line, this would invalidate the idea of this fifth wave to the upside. We haven't done that yet, so technically speaking, it is still viable to see price action actually push up towards this zone here of this 27,833 to this 27,605 level if we do maintain this zone. If, however, we lose this zone, what I will then be looking at as the next point to keep an eye on would be this low here of this 26,642. If we continue to hold that, there is still potential here that we could have this as 1, 2, 1, 2 here, and then we're looking for this continuation up, but we would need to see a break back above this 28,336, and this would be looking to take this high. So there is potential here. We can look to rally, but we need to just see whether we can continue to hold this structure. Alternatively, we could just have this as a bigger corrective move here, where effectively what we're saying is that this move to the upside is just a bigger corrective structure, where this is a W wave into this point here. We have this as a smaller X wave, and what we'd then be saying is that within this structure here, we either have this developing as a C wave, where this would be a 5-wave move, or potentially this is just a 3-wave corrective move. And we have done enough now that this could potentially turn around. And like I said, because we're sitting right in that 786 area, going to be watching this to see how we react. If we do continue to hold these lows over here, then potentially we can look for this move to continue on. If, however, we start to lose these lows, the probability then becomes that we're going to see either a bigger retracement here, and then we're going to see continuation up, or alternatively, this is going to break down in a 5-wave structure. Now, at the moment, there isn't really anything indicating 5 waves. We just have 3 waves to the downside. So just being mindful that until we actually break this low here, we could still potentially see price looking to rally if we do continue to hold this level. If we lose this level, what I will be looking out for is 2 zones lower down here, where this move could still be looking to extend out. Like we were talking about in that bigger B wave, we could actually start to have this move develop as a corrective move, where this is we see a 3-wave move back down. Now, this 3-wave move can either find support here in this 50%, which would be this 26,377 to this 25,775, which would align quite nicely with coming back into these lows. Alternatively, if we do see this move become an A wave, and then we see something like a bigger zigzag to the downside I'm still going to be looking out for this area down here, this 24564 to this 25333, which could align with the idea of having something like a bigger flat correction here, where this becomes A, we get a move down here, potentially looking to sweep this low, and then seeing that continuation to the upside in a C wave afterwards if this support area holds. Like I said, we need to be careful, because if we start to get 5-wave structure down here, we could start to extend out in that more aggressive sell-off. But if we do continue to hold either of these support zones, either within the bullish case, these higher 1s and 2s, or alternatively within this bearish case where we see a bigger 3-wave move down, this support zone here or this support zone here, we could still see a additional push to the upside here, looking to actually push us back up into the higher B wave location. So because of that, we need to just be on the lookout for something like this, where we could still see price look to complete. This is an A wave, this is a B wave, bigger push up into this target box for a C wave, and then look for that continuation from that point. Or alternatively, we could get this as an A, we get B, and then we see continuation up, looking for this higher target level as well. So this is why at the moment it's going to be very important to see whether we continue to hold this low of this 24990. If we do continue to hold this zone, we do have potential here that we could see price look to rally to the upside here, looking to sweep this high. If we sweep that high, then it starts to break down our bearish counts, where this is potentially another 1, 2, or an A and B, and we're looking for that C wave. But we still need to respect the idea that if this is a bigger corrective move like this, this whole move could become an A wave, we get a B wave to the upside, and we still see that continuation down. So it's going to be very important to get over these levels if we are looking for that more bullish case, where we're looking for a bigger breakout here to the upside. Now, some areas that I would want to see us actually move above for more confidence within this move would actually be these zones that we've got indicated here. So I've got 2 trend lines drawn on. So these are drawn from these 2 highs over here, and we have had an interaction. You can see the price broke out of this zone and came back down and retested. We're still sitting above this. If we do move down, we could potentially see a secondary test of this. Alternatively, if we do look to move up, going to be watching this yellow trend line sitting up here towards us 27834 as a potential rejection zone. If we do see a break above this zone, we still need to get back above this little area here. We've got between 29k and 28k. There's a lot of resistance and support that's been found in this zone, and even from further back on the left hand side. So just going to be watching out that even if we do see a bit more of a rally up into this area, this would align still with the idea that we could either have this as A, this is B, and we see C, or alternatively what we could still see is, like I said, that idea of the bigger flat correction, where our rejection zone is also sitting within this area. So just being mindful of that idea that if we do move to the upside here, this could still align with coming up here one more time, looking to sweep some of these highs, and then still having that push to the downside. Now, it is also possible that we could see a move up into some of these naked points of controls. We can see that there is a little bit of a cluster here. So if we do see a move up into this zone, this would also align with retesting this potential rejection area, seeing something like a break to the upside, failing to find support, and then seeing that continuation down, or alternatively moving up, finding support, and then looking for that continuation to the upside. Having a look at the daily CPR lines here, what we can see is we've printed higher CPRs once again, and we have temporarily found support here. We've seen price move through this level, hit our R1 and the previous daily high, and we've seen a retracement. If we do continue to hold 26892 to this 26801, what I will be looking at as potential targets would be a retest of this 27320. If we overtake this zone, other targets for today would be 27886, 28364, and this 28916 as potential upside targets. If, however, we lose these central lines, the next zone I'll be looking for to find potentially support would be this 26292. If we do look to push down towards this zone, it'll be interesting to see how we react here. If we just see a move like this, there is potential that this could then look for a reaction to the upside. If, however, we lose that zone, other targets would be 25823, 25264, and this 24787 to the downside. So this would align with having a deeper retracement here, or alternatively starting to form that bigger 5-wave structure. Now, moving over here onto the weekly pivot points, We can see here that we did have this move up here into our one line, and now we could still see price come back down and look to retest these weekly CPR lines, because we never actually got a touch of these. So if we do see price come back down here, we can potentially look to find support at this 26,301, 26,114, and this 25,903. If however we see price continuing to rally here, what I'll be looking out for as a target to the upside would be this 28,101 and this 29,304 over the period of this week. If we do look to move back down into these zones, we could look to find support, as I said. However, if we lose these central lines, targets to the downside would then become 25,321, 24,109, and this 23,354. Now moving over here and having a look at the monthly pivots, we can see that we are still currently fighting within these central lines. Now if we do see price looking to push back up here, we could find resistance at this 27,120 and then look for continuation down. A move down towards this 26,515 could potentially offer us support in this zone. If we lose this level, however, we'll be looking for some of those lower CPRs in this area that we talked about. If we start to see price looking to reverse here to the upside, going to be watching this 27,702, which would align with coming up and sweeping this high as a potential rejection zone. If we move above that, other targets for this month is this 29,085, 32,203, and this 34,142. So going to be keeping an eye on this to see if we continue to hold these lows. We do have that potential to see a retest of some of these highs, but we need to see this overcome these areas that we discussed and getting back above this 27,695 area, you know, just for a bit more confidence. I want to see us move through this and potentially get a retest, find support, and look to carry on. If however we start to reject down, targets for this month is this 24,10, we have 21,994, and this 18,926 as potential downside targets. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.